leadership, what can I do in the first 90 days to start well and build credibility?
I'm a big fan of that 90-day chunk. I haven't really heard anyone challenge it, but I'd be interested if others have different perspectives. I think, though, it's so easy, whether you're starting in a new business or you've been promoted in the business that you're in, to just have that snowball effect happen where you get swept up in the tidal wave. How many other metaphors can I use? And visual,
the snowball to the tidal wave.
Yeah, like I'm just feeling it and
it.
seeing it all. You can just get swept up so quickly. And so I love the idea of being more intentional around your first 90 days. I think for me, it then feels like it makes a lot of sense to chunk it down to like month 1, month 2, month 3. Some of the things that came up for me, if I'm considering what does month 1 look like, I'm suggesting you're basically focusing quite simply on listening, learning, and relationships.
Yeah, nice.
Now, again, everything I'm going to talk to, I'm really coming at that from a place of it doesn't matter whether you've already been in the business and you've been promoted or you're into a new business. It's like this reset opportunity or this opportunity to just start soaking, be the sponge, start soaking. Don't feel like you need to hit the ground running, so to speak, and like change too many things or try and do or achieve too much. It's foundational stuff. You're making observations. You're building your understanding. And along the way, assuming you know nothing so that way you're really open book to whatever you might find.
I like that, assuming you know nothing. I think it's a really kind of refreshing stance. I do feel like when new leaders come in too hot, it just gets people on the back foot. So I love that idea of listening, learning, and building relationships. Some of the things that I jotted down, what do you do in the first 90 days to start well, is spend time getting to know the team. Like, just get to know what makes people tick, get to know them as individuals, and get to know, okay, based on the individuals in this team, how do we show up as a collective group as well? So you're looking for what motivates each individual person. And we do this activity. We did this recently at one of our team retreats where it's kind of like a things you need to know about me. And it becomes like a guide to how to work with the different personalities within the group. And I would say for any new leader, do this in one of your early team meetings. It's super fun, but it's just a way to fast track getting to know people. And there are a couple of questions we would ask. So number 1 is, what are your work preferences? Like, what does it look like when you are working really well? So it might be, my work preferences are that I like to do deep work in the morning, and the afternoons I like to have meetings because like it doesn't require as much like deep focus time, and I like to go for a walk on my lunch break, or whatever your work preferences are. Then your work pet peeves, so the things that annoy you, and get really clear about what those are. Like, we have a list longer than our arm.
Yeah.
Things that annoy
For
us.
some reason that list is longer than the preferences, but anywho.
Like, one of my pet peeves is people playing music out loud in the office.
And we keep finding them too. I feel like we move through the world and then we're like, oh yeah, actually, can I add that to my list now? That's another pet peeve of mine.
It's really helpful though, because then you're like, you get to know people in such a like, it just shortcuts a lot of the learning by failure.
Yeah, and you can have a bit of a laugh too. I think
what was
it's a
some of
nice,
yours?
safe place for people to like have a laugh at their own pet peeves, but also be like, no, seriously, don't do this.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, look, the one that comes to mind for me immediately is like, don't text me before you call me. Like, don't text and say, hey, can I give you a call? Just call me. That's what voicemails are for. If I can answer, I'll answer. And if I can't, I can't. Or, if you're sitting in an office and you get that DM message that says, can I talk to you for a sec? It's like, okay, I could probably stretch my arm out and reach you, and like, how about you just come over and say, hey, can we have a chat?
And the really interesting thing about that is that pet peeve of yours would be a preference of someone else's.
Totally.
And so this is why it's cool to know, because I'm like, don't just call me.
Yeah, I just think it adds more steps that I just am like, oh, I don't have time for that. Yeah.
But also, I mean, that goes to your strengths. And the other thing we did add to our list was strengths, right? So what are your strengths? And then the next question was, what do your strengths look like when you're under stress? So for people who are really good at responsibility, they take responsibility for a lot of things. When they're under stress, that may go into overdrive, and it means working ridiculous hours. It means like killing yourself for a deadline.
Yeah, or doing it yourself. So, perhaps other perfectionists can also relate. It's like, I'll just do it myself. That's how I know it's going to be done right and on time.
Yeah, instead of delegating. So I think all these things are really nice. It's a really nice way to, in your first month, run a team meeting, do things you need to know about me. So you're going to ask, what are your strengths? What do your strengths look like under stress? What are your work preferences? And what are your work pet peeves? And that will give you so much good insight into your team.
Hey, before we move to month 2, which is what I was thinking we might do, but don't let me cut you off. The other one I would say here is understanding as a leader, like what's your mandate? So not just understanding the team, but from whoever your leadership is, whoever your manager is, really understanding why did they bring you into this role or why did they create this role? There will be, as much as we're coming in with no assumptions and we need to go and find all of our own observations and insights and gather some data, I believe that you still need to understand, like, what is the business objective for this role?
Yeah, good. Perfect. So month 2.
Yeah, so here's where I started to think about words like communication, vision, alignment, and credibility. So you continue to roll on with what you've been doing in month 1, and you're just adding a layer to that in my mind. So we're really wanting to get clear on the priorities. We've started to build some ideas in month 1 about what the priorities and pain points are, but let's get super clear and actually go, okay, here are our top 3 to 5 priorities that we're now going to build a 6 to 12 month plan off the back of. Starting to get clearer around expectations and communicating those with the team. So you're taking some more, I guess, ownership of the team and ownership of that leadership role, I guess. Through doing that, sharing your observations and bringing a bit of a rhythm or some routines and rituals to the team as well, and then starting to embed those. And lastly, I'd add that by this point, I do think it's important to start to get some quick wins. So what are your low-hanging fruit? As much as you've got your bigger picture, 3 to 5 priorities that might need to go into a 6 to 12 month roadmap, let's actually think about what have you heard from the team in the first month that you can just, again, build some credibility, strengthen those relationships by going, let's nip that in the bud, let's make this quick and easy change. And then they feel a sense of like, okay, I've been heard. This person has actually listened and understood. And whilst they can't change the world overnight, they're demonstrating that they're keen to act and get a couple of things done.
Yeah, and I think in that first 2 months, the other thing, in addition to like, hey, what are the priorities? What are the expectations? I think you need to start setting expectations with the team of how you lead things like one-on-ones, like what is our structure and like meeting cadence, all those things that become, as you say, rhythms. And one thing I would do, and I didn't mention this probably in month 1, but definitely in month 2, is actually saying to the team, hey, this is like what it's going to look like us working together. These are my expectations of how I do feedback. So you can expect this from me. In our one-on-ones, they're going to look like this structure, but every single time we meet, there's going to be a feedback conversation, both things that are going amazing and anything we can do to improve. If you front load that expectation, you actually make your life so much easier, because people tend to think, I'll address an issue when it arises, instead of assuming, hey, we're going to have there will be issues. Every single team has problems. And if you anticipate that and you go, hey, here's how we're going to, whenever we encounter problems or challenges, we're going to have conversations around that. I just want you to expect that from the outset. And if you can say that up front to people, preempt it, then when it happens, it's no surprise. We knew this was going to happen, and we're just going to do what we said we would do, which is have great, honest, healthy conversations.
And you can apply even this 90-day plan. Like, don't let it be a secret. Why not in that first coffee catch-up that you have with each individual when you're meeting with the team in month 1, even give them the clarity and the vision for the 90 days. Hey, for this first month, I really just want to hear from you guys. So you'll find that I'm sitting in on meetings, I'm catching up with each person one-on-one. I'm a sponge here. I'll start to make my own observations and I'll build my own perspective on things, but I'm really open arms looking for you to share. Here are the things that you'll get from me as well along the way. Then month 2, that's when I want us to start feeling like we're getting some quick wins. I want to start to introduce a little bit more structure, and I'll be clearer with you about what my expectations are going forward, what our priorities are. And then month 3, we'll get to that in a second, but you can actually, I don't think leadership needs to be a secret. I think the best thing you can do is actually let your team know what you're doing.
So what then do you have for month 3? What are you looking at?
So month 3 is where stuff starts to get pretty real in my mind. Like you've got that plan for the top 3 to 5 priorities over the next 6 to 12 months, and you're delivering results. We're not necessarily ticking those off in their entirety, but we've moved beyond low hanging fruit. Again, we're continuing the rhythm of building relationships and observing, and we're also continuing to get quick wins, but we've got more structure to that, and we're starting to go deep. Well, we're well and truly going deeper. So delivering results, you really as a leader taking ownership. So you've shifted out of, in my mind, that that month 1 sort of dynamic, which is like, you tell me, what do I need to know? And you are taking ownership of the team, and you are really standing up as a leader. People are clear about your expectations. You're having feedback conversations. You're not coming in too hot. You obviously need to stay true to a really amazing leadership style and your own leadership style, but you feel more embedded in the team in that sense. It's still early days though, so I imagine there'd be a level of discomfort. You're not necessarily a part of the furniture yet, but you're really having to own that space. And you're starting to feel comfortable, or even if you're not, you're starting to challenge and make more changes. And that momentum is really building to embed. I'd also like to think at this point that you're able to speak to the people that you report to, so your manager or the leadership team above you, and actually give them evidence around the results that you're delivering as well.
Yeah, I think that playback to your own manager is really important in that. And I would say I'd hope that by month 3, all your team members have clear sense of, okay, these are my objectives and key results. Like, this is what we're going after. There's a sense of, okay, cool, this is how I work best with this person. And I think it is a really nice roadmap, and then being able to be clear with your team, as you say, around, okay, here's what to expect from me in the first 90 days. And going back to that 90 days, it will fly by. So it will feel quick, and you're still going to feel new.